What's going on, world? It's your boy at Big Game James _36, and this is Big Games B.S, part of Den Media Group, presented by MFTK Foundation.com, MFTKFoundation.com. Go to the website for all types of things. You can go to MFTK7v7 on IG. Check out all the socials. Check out all of the different things that we had going on. The youngins got a little streaming action, had a great overall weekend. Still didn't win the championship though. I got to get out of my only one team can win, and a lot of these organizations are like, who the hell are you guys? Because we came out this thing and we've been pretty damn good. Just got to get our guys bought in and parents to get out of the situations where they're concerned about things that aren't for them to be concerned about. But all in all, great weekend. Going to try and get things moving in a positive direction this day here. World gone mad. But at the end of the day, if we can get everybody to come in, jam the like button, go ahead, take an opportunity to share the YouTube. For those who are on the Twitters, appreciate you guys. But if you want to comment, make sure you come into the YouTube chat to comment. Outside of that, let's start our show off the same way we start each and every show off with a good word of prayer.
You already know what time it is, dog. Thank you, God, for another day. Thank you, God, for another day. Thank you, God. God is great. All the time. All the time. Go right. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. Go.
As my Polynesian sauce brethren said, you motherfuckers better thank God. So let's go with that. On that note, no Jaden again this morning. Got stuff that he's getting into as he's getting ready to make that ascent to the next level with law school. But we have our MFTK segment, a little Mandarin University news. NCAA, I'm going to give a little bit of advice on college camps. Also just trying to remember the people, just try to remind people a lot of questions have been asked. Actually, we may even do that in that MFTK segment. If you guys got issues or questions about recruiting or even something like, did you see what I sent you with the, I don't even know what podcast that is, but it's a bunch of former NFL players where they're breaking down, random they're finding random highlights. I love that stuff. I love breaking down film. If you guys have some stuff, send that. But what we will talk about, the one of the biggest debates that's been going on social media is camps, 7v7, track, all these different things. We'll probably try to talk about that here a little bit. Little FSU news. FSU's in spring ball. Savannah Bananas had an event there this past week. A whole bunch of other different things. Ryan Williams, the ongoing legal updates to Sharon Moore. We have a bunch of legal stuff. We'll talk about the Sharon Moore stuff. If we can find some actual, we'll talk about the legalities of what it is that he's going through. And there was a bunch of white people got up to Washington, D.C. to discuss the future of a bunch of black kids. Nothing like having people who having a jury of your peer, having people who represent you in democracy going and talking about your future and how the things go with you. We'll talk about the NFL, some things going on with the NFL. We got Big Games B.S. We got the B.S. or Bustin' segment. I have some confusion going on with me. And Miles, you would know a little bit more about this because you're way more proficient in Caucasian women than I have ever been in my life. But I don't know what's big, what's small, what's whatever anymore. But Sports Illustrated, did some stuff. We want to talk about that. And unfortunately, it's news because he's in sports, but Dwight Howard's wife took to social media to discuss their relationships, and I will go exactly why. Because, one, both men and women are messy at times. One tends to go and tell the world, like, we wouldn't know who you are if you weren't Dwight Howard's wife. And 90% of the things we wouldn't know unless you tell us. Like, when I see somebody say, like, he made me look like a fool because he cheated on me. I wouldn't have known he cheated on you if you didn't tell the world. I try to take L's in silence. And then I just keep it moving, keep it pushing. Try not to say anything bad about people. If I say something bad about a person, everybody knows they earn it. But we'll talk more about relationships and relational advice as we get into more and more of our show moving forward. So going to the first thing, we got our MFTK segment. I got some guys, some people who bought some hatware. I still owe my primo. I'm gonna probably end up sending him an entire fucking MFTK set of things for him to make friends. But if you click on the first one, there's a video with the Bowls color hat. I guess two pictures, but like you click on that and people can see those are the different colors that we have. You have Bowls, Mandarin, FSU, University Christian, Jaguars. But then you see that one to the right. We got the NWA font, but then you see the drip MFTK hat with the colors. The that one. Yeah, that one's fire. I can't wait to get those. Those should be in this week. Those are not $25. These hats right here are $36. Those are what we normally charge. We still have inventory. And we will start having now that I have my guy I'm trying to think of his name in the chat, but Chef James, we'll just say that he works for the post office. Devin's told me this. They gave me the game. I just got to get the little boxes and then just tell them to come pick it up. They're like, as long as you tape it to the box, we're good to go. So I just need to do that instead of being allergic to the post office. So those are some things that you want to buy. If you do go to the website, if you do cash at me, please let me know. Send an address or a way that you can come pick it up. But we will have a ton of hats available. They're all going to a good cause. One, paying back buying the hats, but two, the cause is I need a house. Cause I need new shoes. Cause I need a lot of other shit. Nah, I'm joking. Trying to make sure these young men finish the 7-on-7 season up with these last two tournaments on a high note. So going on to the next thing, more MFTK on the way. Guy Kai as a 7-on-7 as a youth sports director and a youth sports parent, I kind of understand where he's coming from, but I also kind of call bullshit on all of this stuff. He played in Kyle Collinsworth. Played in the NBA. Played at BYU. He has a record for triple doubles. He's an athlete, and he just has something. He put America needs a no youth sports games on Sunday law. Keep Sundays about God and family. Bro, soak on your own time. Yeah, brother. Once I realized where that money was going in most of y'all church, not everybody, again, this is a generality. Don't get into specifics with me. There's other things that I want to be doing on my Sundays. I came back late Saturday evening for playing lacrosse, for coaching lacrosse, to get up first thing Sunday morning after daylight savings time to go do one of my favorite things that I absolutely love and enjoy doing. It's about to get more expensive because gas prices are going up and a whole bunch of other shit is going on. But I went to go see my son play on Sunday and go see other kids play on Sunday. And you know what? I feel like I was doing the Lord's work. I feel like Jesus was pleased. Inky and Enlil, Thor and Loki, all of those guys were happy. Whatever you believe, Allah, like they were all happy and pleased because we spent more time being influencing and being out there, also paying obscene prices. Like that, most people are just mad because their tithe money is going to youth sports clubs. Because that's the shit that's what the law needs to be. Parks can only charge so much money, and people can and $10 admission for 2 days, and no more $20 hot dog French fry combos. Like, just keep that shit cheap for these young men if you really care about doing that. But again, we're going to talk about they're going to say, well, that's not capitalistic, and then they want to cheat and try to curtail all of the things that don't matter. But keep your sorry ass son at home. Now, I do know a kid that's really, really good whose family that's on one of my teams, whose family does adhere to this. And it's very frustrating. But now that I know, I can respect it a little bit. The young man, hold on. Oh, okay. Oh man, damn! I got a good text from a parent. I thought I was in trouble. Hey man, I've been talking to these quarterbacks, man. These quarterbacks' parents are normally a little zesty and sassy. But he told me thank you for critiquing his son. Oh, shit. I was about to say I'm about to lose another quarterback. But all in all, if Sundays are about teaching, this is basically children's church on the road. Out in the real world. And I think one of the things that Christians or most religious people fail to realize is that you have to be able to apply these principles that you learn in a stoic place in the real world, like where people curse, where everything is not sanitized and sterilized. So we're doing we're doing the thing again. But the one kid who's Under Armour All-American, we call him Fabio. His name is Rafe. God damn, we could have used Rafe. Like, Rafe that's a cold ass white boy.
Different for every.
Yeah, his stepfather is the pastor of a church.
Right.
So I'm like, all right, dude, stay your ass home, sir. And like, I'm gonna talk to him for the next 3 years, especially if he continues to get better. All right, how much? Like, I'm gonna go with like life. How much is it going to turn these whites only pies into colored pies? How much tithe money is it going to take for us to borrow Rafe for a weekend? Because anybody can be fought. Nah, all jokes aside, Rafe is cold. That's a cold ass pilgrim, dog.
Oh, there's so many.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, way too many denominations, man. Like, also, like, man, let's go be Seventh-day Adventists or some shit like that. So, like, even then, like, so when I was going to church heavily, when I first moved, I went to a church called Celebration. I stopped going when the pastor started tweaking. Pastor Stovall was tweaking a little bit, right? Yeah, you can watch church online too.
Yeah.
Like, we can't say that's COVID changed everything for us. But Pastor Stovall had a church service on Saturday nights from like 6 to 8 p.m. Like, they only did it for like 1 year. Oh, it was so great. I felt so fulfilled. Instead of going to church the morning after you went out to the club all night and you're hungover and you can't really get the full praise and worship experience, but you could go get holler at the freak that you missed the night before, because they all in college. All the freaks went to Jacob's Chapel. Like, that's where they were at. They were going to go get freaked by the pastor. But if you left one church, you go right there, and they was all there. The let out at church was just as good as the let out at the club. But now you can go get it out of the way. And then if you want to go to a movie, like if you wanted to like do a date, you're already out. It was a lot of reasonable, responsible things you could do with your life. And the whites only have church for like 90 minutes max. Some of them only do it for an hour. It was the blacks that got to go that feel like the longer you're in church, the more Jesus hears you. But all that being said, damn all that, bro. Sports is sports, and God loves football. God loves the NFL. That's why he blesses it. So we're like, and there's what other times actually I'm pro having sports stuff during the middle of the week. The problem is that doesn't help the kids because they got to go to school too. So it's a unless you want to do 1 day events, which nobody wins on a 1 day event. Maybe do Friday night, but you'll have a lot of people who would still have to miss work, take off time to travel to be able to do things that you don't want them to do. So that's, again, I don't listen. That's why we don't listen to Mormons. And that's all with that. But kudos to his opinion. 45 minutes with 2 hymns. Yeah, I'm with that. What kind of church would y'all go to? Like, cause that would be mine. I like the new age stuff a little bit. The music is good. Like I think Miles, when you first like went to one of them, you're like, this ain't nothing but a concert.
Yeah,
like
that was intense.
But I like, and I also, the problem with me is that the humor in me, the dark humor, the real humor. When South Park did the boy band, Christian boy band.
Oh yeah.
It brought me to a joke that I said, like, Christian music and R&B are the same thing. It's just Christian music, everybody singing to the same dude. Like if you take the love songs or the praise and worship songs and you add it and you sing it to your significant other, they would think you're pretty romantic. And if you take some of the most sappy love songs, it don't even have to be sappy. I personally think when I preach we're going to do like a couple Sunday or a single Sunday, and we're going to have one of the hymns will be In Those Jeans by Genuine. And when you sing it, like Genuine was praising and worshiping during that time. But I go back to like, they were listening like, gee, I love you, Jesus. I just want to get down on my knees and just let your just pour your praise all over my face. Just lift it down. It was the way they were singing. I'm like, yo, and they were getting a lot of the chomos were buying their albums. And then but it makes sense when you look at where a lot of the chomos come from. But one of my favorite things in the old Baptist church is the lining of the hymns, especially when you understand the historical significance of why they did that. But I just love the way they do it. And I love you don't even got to know the words. You can just grunt. It's like to the most simple thing. I would take lining of the hymns. That's how we would start every church service. And then we would go super modern, 30-minute sermon. And then boom, get out of there. Say, I love the Lord. He heard my cry. I love. It just sounds like that. I don't even think they be saying shit. The line Amazing Grace, twas grace that brought me safe this far, and grace will lead me home. And I know people couldn't read back in the day, so they would line it so that the people can understand it, and then they would sing it, which still doesn't make any sense because you line it and sing into the same God that the person who bought you is lining and singing hymns too. So who's winning? But all that being said, when we really, really get to the crux of all of this, nothing breaks this down more than the soul of, I believe he was he was he 2 or 3 in this picture? Don't know. But he's a lot bigger and he smells a lot worse now than he did in this video. But this is how we really all truly feel. And we need to get back, regardless of who your team is and how bad they are. This is how you feel about a month after football is all said and done.
I'm on football. Daddy, I'm on football.
He was so distraught. It is like now we can find football for him any given time. But at this point, he was like, yo, ain't no football on. What the hell is going on? Dad, then he looked at me. I know you can fix this. Can't fix this for you, son. Can't solve all the world's problems. It definitely should. Oh my God, it's so cute. I pray not for him. I don't pray for fame for him. I pray for it for me. I've got so much embarrassing video to load up and just play just because I want to. Oh, he can make a whole show. We can make a whole show about that. But he still got steps to go through. He still has plenty of 7-on-7. And then he has to go before he goes to the regular university. He must go to Mandarin University. And Mandarin University is known. We call it that because we put kids in college. At Mandarin University, we are known for playing big games. Smoke is not something that we duck, and I think we will be on ESPN this year. First game out the gate, playing football on a Saturday. So the Mustangs are traveling down to South Florida to play the Mustangs. Mandarin Mustangs are playing the Mustangs of Douglas MacArthur High School. If you click on that real quick, Miles, we can get a chance to hear Big Herb and then talk about what we are doing the opening weekend when it comes to playing football in the Broward County Classic last year. Bowles High School played in it, set the tone. This Douglas MacArthur was a team that went 10-3 last year. Both of us have some really, really good athletes. It should be a good matchup coming up here soon. They have the YouTube video of it? Yeah. Whatever. Yeah, so it's a whole weekend. It's not just us. It's just a good lineup of schools. Okay. More commercials. You gotta love it. They gonna get their money, man. Hey, man. Oh, snap. Yo, my guy Flip. I gotta get down to see you down in Sasua, bro. What's up, my guy? Yeah,
Field. You and I were at this game the last time it was at Kyle Field. Texas at Texas.
I think they just talking about college. I don't think they it was a whole video clip of it, but I'll just read off what we're doing. Mandarin's coming off a 12-1 season. I love that they put 12-1. They didn't count the IMG loss because technically we went 12-2. Reaching the 6A Region 1 following the Buchholz by a touchdown. They got Bryson Wright, Knox Ennis. Mandarin is expected to be a state title contender. We finished the season top 25 in the Florida rankings. MacArthur is coming off of their first 10-win season since 2016. They have a Spanish coach in Robert Ortega. They went 10-3, reaching the Region 4 final, getting their asses torn up by St. Thomas Aquinas. There are 3 games that have been announced in this classic already. Bishop Gorman will be Bishop Gorman, Mater Dei, Milton, and St. Joseph's Prep, St. John Bosco have all taken a part of this in recent years. It's a really, really good event. It'll be some good football being played, and that's just again why you go to Mandarin. You go to Mandarin to play the big games, to be broadcast, to be seen across that. It will be on ESPN, I believe, but we will have our own broadcast here on Den Media Group of all Mandarin high school football games. So you could be able to check it out, see the action with Bryson the Wright, as well as Knox and a few other additions of guys that you don't really know yet. One of them being Kendrick. We have one of the best D tackles in the nation that attends Mandarin, but that 2028 class at Mandarin could have 15 guys sign college, with a good chunk of them signing major Power 4 offers. There's a young linebacker named we also have a linebacker. We have about 4 or 5 27 kids. My running back is pretty good. They're going to go D1, but that 2028 class will have a lot of guys, and that 2029 class will probably have one of the best offensive line classes that have come out of Jacksonville in recent years. And with just some of the sizes, with some of the kids that they have, you've got big Sherm. You've got Lucky. What's my guy? Lucky's son. What's his name? I can't always forget his name. But he's going to be big as his daddy. We got some monsters in that 29 class, with another good running back in that class of 20 in that 29 class, but obviously headlined by Bryson Wright, being one of those guys that, I just want Florida State fans to go ahead and know that I tried. I did my best. It's probably not going to happen. But you guys who have listened to this show know that I can't force anybody to I can't do their job for them, but $250,000, and let me work from home, and Florida State will have everybody they want, so they'll have the pick of who they want, from Savannah to the I-4 corridor, back across to to Louisiana. Like, so if you just get that, and I could probably pluck certain people from the South Florida area, but I got that other stuff sold up. So if they really wanted it, I could get it for them, but that's on them. Miles stepped out. 2 minutes. The next thing we're going to talk about going into college football is, and this is just a segment that I would love to just get anybody's feedback. Anybody want to talk to me or communicate with me about my thoughts, considering that I was not a 7-on-7 fan. I am a big fan of track. I'm knowledgeable about performance training, but I'm also talking about the camps and then the hypocrisy and the change about what's going on in terms of everything. So my high school coach, who also coaches in college now, is a guy by the name of Joe Nixon. If you ever want to go get a good follow on Twitter, it's at Team NIX3K. So many college coaches publicly saying they're not taking high school players because of the transfer portal. Why are there still so many high school camps? Is it truly about evaluation, or has it become a revenue stream? The recruiting landscape has changed. High school athletes deserves transparency. And then a guy put on there, them saying they're not recruiting high school students is a bit of hyperbole. High school kids are committed years before they graduate, and every December athletes are signing. But coaches are looking at the portal to fill holes first, where they would have normally had to call a high school kid. Recruiting has definitely become harder. Not taking high school players anymore does not mean not taking any, just means taking very few, or only if they are good enough. Good enough is now a new definition due to portal and along with JUCO. The camp is about revenue, of course, but it's also a chance for high school kids to show they're good enough. Don't blame the coaches here. It's now the system, and JUCO coaches are a big benefactor here, and the kids better understand this. JUCO is the bridge to D1 like never before. That is all stemming off of my coach's comment, but then now my guy Devin Respress, who is the director of recruiting at Florida State, a guy who I picked up from the airport to drive to Florida State, is the director of recruiting, who doesn't call me about Florida State stuff. Did hit me up about Disney tickets though, and he'll hit me up about a good hotel room. Will not hit me up about recruiting though, which is insane to me. But hey, my guy is good at his job. He does what he needs to do. This is what he said. Director of recruiting at Florida State, for those who want to know. Film is important, but the best evaluation is an in-person eval. Save the dates and get to a camp. Go Noles. Camps run you about $50. They're cheap. I like them because you're getting work. Regardless of what the situation is, you're getting work. Trey will be at the June 1st camp. I've gone to Mike Norvell's youth camp. since shit. The first one they had was during COVID, so 2021. So I think Trey had just turned 6. Wow, that's crazy. So Trey would have had, was it 7? Or maybe Trey was, Trey was, no, what was Trey was born in 2013? Trey was 8, had to be 8 then. I don't know, whatever. Trey was whatever. But Trey's gone to Mike Norvell football camp every year. The first one they had was in Jacksonville. I liked the bus tour that they did for the youth camps. They went to the different cities creating fans. Now you have to go to Dope. But they'll have their individual camp, which I'll encourage kids to go to. If you ain't got nothing else to do on a Saturday and your parents want to drive you over, again, it's one of them good bonded trips, 2.5 hours from my house to Dope Campbell Stadium.
Like one of the best things they can.
Yeah, and you're going to see how you measure up against other people. I'm all for the camps if you can afford it.
Does this happen a lot? Like in the comments here, they have a kid who just places highlight reels.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Go ahead and hustle.
Kids got to do. The problem isn't. So here's the issue. Multiple things can be true at the same time, but for some reason in the social media era that has destroyed context and critical thinking in people think that only one thing can be true. This is a fucking money grab.
Yeah.
But you can also get evaluated.
Right.
They want to see if you are 6 foot. They want to see if you really are what because coaches lie. I still don't know to this day who put that I was 6'3", 235 pounds. No, 250 pounds on my recruiting thing. Because that's what I remember when Rivals first started. I got sent. My mama got the calls. I'm like, when did I get 6'3"? I said, shit, I wish. I was all of the same height I am now, 6 foot in the media guide, and I was 215 pounds going into my senior year in high school.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Svelte. No, I got big in college. That's why I tried to say when my mom was like, James, you describe it as such a bad. I said, no, I enjoyed every aspect of growing up, but I'm not going to fucking pretend like we had like that Trey. I grew up how Trey grew up. I ate twice a day. I got the 250 my freshman year because I ate 3 squares and 2 snacks. It was lifted every fucking day. Then they dropped. Then I dropped down. I got to 235 again, and I was shredded. I loved it, man. I looked good. I tell the kids nowadays, like I'm like, y'all fat for no reason. That's like y'all don't understand what it's like. You got to look good one day. Now y'all have no pictures you can go back and say, like this is how. Like,
I never thought about that. Yeah.
I can go back, and I'll probably be. I'll do this 20 years from now. I did this to my daughter the other day. She was talking trash or something like that, and I said, "I pulled your mama." I said 20 years. I was like, I was fine 20 years ago. I was like, I didn't realize it, but I look now, I'm like, damn. I had not a sunken face. I had more muscle face. I was like, stomach was a lot flatter. Chest was defined. I was doing bench press every other fucking day.
Right.
Could bench a house. Kids were like, how much could you bench, Coach Coleman, when you were bench? I said, well, they said 560, but I ain't never put 560 on a bar. But I could rep out stuff. I know I can get like 32 reps of 225. I know I could get that in one sitting. But if a coach tells you this, and I'll explain a little bit about what he means by good film is nice. As at a cigar lounge, at Burn Cigar Lounge 3 years ago in Indianapolis during the combine, Keenan McCardell and a bunch of other NFL coaches and scouts let me realize that all pro guys think college coaches are idiots. And then I realized something after listening to my friends who coach in college who could not see the field. They can tell you they know what it looks like, but they don't look like what they're looking for. But felt overlooked when they were coming out of the game, but would not recruit. Like right now, Devin's my guy. Devin played running back in high school. Devin would not recruit himself out of high school. So they'll say things like, I just didn't have a chance, but won't give themselves a chance. But when they have the opportunity, it's the equivalent of when a woman says, I want a man to pay all my bills. I want a man to do this. I want this, but won't require that of their sons.
Yeah, no,
Because at our crux, a lot of us are hypocrites. When we see an opportunity to get a fancy car and we can afford it, we're going to do it. It's actually one of the best. Like David Banner said this thing to a police officer one day. Why did you do that? Because I can afford to. So when we're talking about these things, if a coach tells you that the film doesn't matter because he thinks your high school coach is an idiot. But there are things that matter. If I click on your film and you're a skill player and I don't see you separating from people, I don't want you. I want to see guys who separate from people. If you can't separate from high school, you're not going to separate in college. Point blank and simple. There are traits that you can look at. Stats, less than film eval, stats don't matter anywhere near as much as what people think. Stats are for you to be able to brag to your friends that my baby is this. I had the state leader in rushing, state leader in points scored, but he was 5'7", 165 pounds as a running back. At the highest level, at the highest stage in high school football. He was entirely too small for a Division I school to take a chance on him, regardless of what the production was. He was good enough to play college. He balled out at Albany State. He just transferred. He will be at FAMU soon. But, like, he just didn't have the measurables. And I told his parents that. That's not my fault. That's y'all fault. Blame God more than you blame me. I tried. In fact, I tried to get Devin to take him to FAMU out the gate. FAMU wouldn't recruit him. His coach at Albany State is now the coach at FAMU. And wanted to bring him. So I say these things to say coaches are full of shit, but at the same time, you need to do both. You need to also go to these camps to get an understanding and send your kids to them early. I send Trey to these camps so that he can know what the world looks like. Being the best athlete in Jacksonville is like being the tallest midget. You're still short. You need to know what it's like to compete against somebody from Miami, what it's like to compete against somebody from Tampa, what it's like to be against somebody in Tallahassee, what it's like to be somebody in Atlanta, Georgia, where there's a different breed of football. And then so your measurables stacked up with your mentality have to be able to match up, and that's what you can see in these camps. But I'd be damned if I see a guy get his ass whooped on film and then try to recruit him because he had a good camp. Like, you got to have a little bit of both. And also the portal is real. But in schools like Mandarin, our kids go to college. Where you go to school matters. What you do for your kid matters. Getting your kids seen matters. So people who say 7-on-7 doesn't matter, it does. Our kids get MFTK, our kids get written about. Our 14U and 15U team, we got a 15U kid in Hamlet Sarah, who's a tight end out of Lincoln High School, who's getting offers and looked at every which way. And our 15U team, because he's on a team that gets heavily marketed. He's had 10 articles written about him already with 247 and Rivals in those. We got 14U kids that are getting looked at because of who they are. We got a kid jump man on our 12U team that's going to get looked at. So and then and Nuke is a battle athlete at 12. All of this shit matters because marketing matters when it comes down to this. You can say somebody's overrated, but would you rather be overrated? I'd rather be overrated than underpaid. You know who made that quote? Jay-Z. So you can either be one of those parents. Again, I don't want this for y'all. For people who are listening to you, you got the game, free game by big game. You can be one of them parents that's bitching about everybody else's kids moving on, or you can get on the program. Shit, hopefully if this 6'6" kid comes on my 14U team, watch that motherfucker, watch that tall motherfucker get a whole bunch of write-ups about him if he makes a catch. It's just the way the game goes. Moving into more, I was good with that. But again, Devin, my guy, a little full of shit with that, but he's still my guy nonetheless. Like you know who you don't need to see in person? Bryson. You don't need to see A1. You don't see. Now, I see no haircut Nick in real life, and I wish I can get that back, that moment in time back, because they also see people in real life and then still don't offer them because various reasons. Logan's Twitty. My boy Logan Robinson with one of the best FSU sites that you can go watch. No game day. Seen him growing from the bottom. Mike Norvell confirms FSU will not hold a spring game in April. The Seminoles didn't hold one in 2025 due to dope camera renovations. Cancel booster tour, cancel the spring game. Mike knows he's done after this year. Admin knows it. Fan base knows it. What the hell we're doing? Bringing this loser back. Everybody is upset about this. And some of this is bots. None of y'all were going to the goddamn spring game anyway. Like, as a guy, take it from a guy who's done spring game, who's been a part of 2 spring games. 3. About 3. No, I was hurt 1 year. 1 year I didn't do it. I had shoulder surgery. And notice I was a 3-year starter. Spring games are kindergarten graduations and Easter speeches at church. We all knew who the exceptional kids were. The ones who are good don't really need to be seen or showcased. This is the only time that some of these kids will ever get an opportunity to wear a uniform, a game uniform, and be able to play in front of their mama and their daddy. It is heavily scripted. It is, matter of fact, I'll wait till Miles gets back. It's heavily scripted. You're not going to see anything. They're not going to put it because there's so much TV presence with them now. You're not going to see anything good. And the way our media writes, all they're going to do is bitch about incompletions. And most of y'all don't even know what you're looking at. I go to spring games to have a tailgate, to bring people together, to have fun, to be another reason to go to Tallahassee, to bring the masses together. Matter of fact, hold on, I'm going to show you guys. Again, you can look at this. Y'all like to clip this and send it to everybody else. Give me 1 second. I'm going to show you the plays for the last spring game. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. All right. See, I'm a real insider. I'll throw a tailgate. Let's do a baseball tailgate. Now, maybe some of those are plays that we run in a real game. But there's basic shit. It was a call sheet because do you even know who the coaches were for the last spring game? One of them is going to the Hall of Fame this year. His name is Peter Warwick. If you want to come see those guys and hang out, come to my golf tournament. The second Monday in June. Damn, why can't I think of the other one? Defensive man, really good. Can't even think of his name. But the defenses were basic. They didn't really blitz. You couldn't make adjustments. It's called scripted. It's not best on best. You don't see the real. I played 2 series. I think the spring game. My first spring game I played a lot because I was still trying to get developed. They didn't know if I was in a battle to see who would be the starter. My next spring game, I was hurt because I had labrum surgery. Do you think I went out and was banging like that going into my senior year? Fuck you and the fans. I knew what to do. I knew how to play football. My coaches knew what I could do. Positions are won in practices and scrimmages of which you will never be able to see and the media will never be able to see or write about. I only get to see it because I promise not to talk about it. Not in detail. We're finding reasons to cry about something because you don't like a guy. And it's okay to not like him. What it's not okay is to try to figure out reasons why. Like, you don't like him because he's only won 7 games in 2 years. That's good enough. You don't need anything else, right? Well, he doesn't do a spring game. Fuck him. This is why I don't like him. That's soft shit. A lot of people aren't doing spring games for the exact same reason. This is where try not to get canceled. All right, can you look up Little Daryl? Come and maybe if I don't say it, somebody else. We play somebody else doing it, right? It's not as offensive, right? But it's like kindergarten graduation. The kid who shows up every day to school, eats glue, puts glue on his boogers and eats them, gets the same fucking piece of paper as my son who's actually tested to get honors or tested to get gifted. It's the same fucking thing. That's what it is. Never in life will the 5'4", 215-pound running back get an opportunity to play in a real game. No, my God, Miles, that's terrible. I just want to eat Little Daryl Easter speech. That's what I'm bad. That's him on First 48. That's crazy. But like, never will some of these guys ever play. You don't care enough. You don't know enough. I'm telling you, this shit don't matter. Coaches can tell you it matters, but they know it doesn't matter. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You can just play actually, yeah, I want the whole thing. No, that's good. I want him to see it because he gets dressed up and everything. So this is what spring football is. This is what you guys are crying about not seeing and not getting the opportunity to watch. You don't want to. You don't want to see this kid do the speech. You can do without it. I promise you. We can clap. We can find another thing to do, but you don't have to bitch on social media about not seeing this because I know I don't want to see this. That's why. Never mind.
Give it up.
It's hard when your kid is expecting. There's so much less.
My name, Lil Down. My name, Lil Down. My name, Lil Down. Leave me alone. My name, Lil Down. My name, Lil Down. My name, Lil Down. I'm gonna say my speech. Leave me alone.
This is spring.
Huh? Okay. I didn't come right here to stay. All I came to say, Happy Easter Day.
That is spring game. I'm telling you this because there are guys who you find out why they can't play. There are guys who literally you have to, they spray paint the right foot red in the left cleat yellow. You know why they spray painted it that way? Yellow has L in it for left, and red has right. It has an R in it for right. Like, this is what you guys are crying about. There are guys who don't know. Like, you can say, all right, you can make the play as simple as possible. Matter of fact, when I play for Bobby, free game. I'm educating you guys. The even numbers in football, right? Even numbers in football are to the right. Right? So, yeah, 40 is right down the middle, so that's 0. You got the 2 hole, you got the 4 hole, you got the 6 hole, blah, 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 all to the right. If I tell you the even numbers are to the right, anybody want to take a wild guess where the odd numbers are? Wild guess, odd numbers are to the left. You can tell somebody that like over and over and over again. You could say we're running 27. So that's stretch to the left, right? Stretch to the left. And that motherfucker run full speed to the right. Fuck up the whole play. You can show them, like, I kid you not, some of y'all children are like this. As a coach, I know. They drive you to drink hard liquor. I can show, I did it this weekend. I can show you, hey, I want you, hey, man, you're number 5, okay? What I want you to do is I want you to run, boom, right there. Just run right there, son. Right there, boom. You can tell 10 yards. 10 yards and sit. I need you to do that, sir, okay? You got it? Yes, coach, I got it. I got you. I got you. And that motherfucker go run backwards. That's what you want to see? That's what we're crying and complaining about, because you know who's not going to play? Deuce Robinson. You know you're not going to really see much. You're going to see a couple throws by the new quarterback. That's it. You got to pray the guy's going to catch it. The studs don't play. They've already proven themselves. I'm telling you guys, nobody wants to see that shit. The high school kids will go to practices. It's just, I'm sorry, I'm venting. It's just the things that y'all bitch about every day. Like, no, I don't want to blame the president or anybody on this economy on. How the fuck do y'all function to do anything? Because all y'all do is bitch on the internet all day. Guys who aren't bitching are getting active and getting these things, and this is also from Lolo. We got guys who are either gaining weight or losing weight. Notable increases and decreases in FSU's weight room on defense. Jordan Sanders dropped 10 pounds. He went from 315 to 305. He's a redshirt senior. Demonte Diggs went up 17 pounds. He went from 250 to 267. Kevin Wynn, big D tackle recruit, went from 334 to 326. He lost 8 pounds. Tylen Lee went from 287 to 273, lost 14 pounds. And Little Crow, went from 188 to 196. He gained 8 pounds. That's quite impressive. To be able to gain that kind of weight and still be able to move. This is when you really want to truly make your gains when it comes to football. In the off season. So again, I don't want to be yep. It's I was reading over. I'm getting volunteered to do shit that by Kobe, but that's a beautiful thing about spring. I'm going to the next thing. Baseball is doing pretty good. Really don't give a fuck about baseball. I just want y'all to know. I just like Link Jarrett. So as long as Link is doing this thing, we're good. Another sweep, beat the hell out of somebody. Florida got swept by High Point University. And all of that other jazz. Can't tell you where High Point University is, but I know they got swept by it. What I will say is shout out to the men's basketball team. They finished the regular season winning 10 of their last 13 games. They were 8-12 when they started this stretch. They finished 17-14. And in the last month and a half, they beaten Miami, who's a 20-win team, Clemson, 20-win team, Cal 20-win team, Stanford 20-win team, and a Virginia Tech that's 19-12. In that, and then during that stretch, they lost to a few teams in the last month and a half. They lost by 2 to number 12 Florida, lost by 3 to number 14 Virginia, and lost by 4 to number 3 Duke. So they're playing some good basketball. And they could be dangerous. All you got to do is if they make a run going into March, going into March Madness, going to the ACC tournament, they could get an opportunity to be able to get a low seed in the March Madness bracket. So I'm not going to pretend to care until they make it. If the game is on, I'll be like, hey, I hope my alma mater wins. If not, don't really give a shit. Because I'm not going to pretend to care about basketball. Now, something that I do like, and I want to listen to this at full value. When I retweeted one of the notable likes of this tweet were by our athletic director, Michael Alford. I put FSU media would never spin it like this. Memphis is spending $226 million to literally make their stadium smaller, which is one of the biggest arguments in football right now, is stadium capacity decreasing. And fans who have not been to a game in their life all bitch about stadiums decreasing, size decreasing. What are we gonna do? It takes away the atmosphere without realizing. I'm gonna let him play it without realizing what true stadium capacity decreasing means. There are seats in the stadium, but then there are seats that don't really count against the count. But let's listen to what this man has to say about Memphis and what they're doing.
Just spent $226 million making their football stadium smaller, but it could end up earning them more money than stadiums twice the size if things go as planned. It sounds crazy, but while most schools are obsessed with being the biggest, the baddest, Memphis is betting that being exclusive is their ticket to a Power 4 conference invite. For years, Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium sat at a capacity of a little over 58,000, but Memphis averaged roughly 29,000 fans, leaving thousands of empty bleacher seats. It looked terrible on TV. In the new era of college athletics, having a massive stadium doesn't win you games. But as someone who signs checks for elite athletes at some of the biggest programs around the country, I can tell you additional revenue streams do. The renovations are expected to be finished before this coming season, and the capacity will only be around 43,000 seats. They're trading those 14,000 generic bleacher seats for high-end suites, private boxes, and even massive interior plazas. Memphis is realizing that 40,000 fans in a premium environment generates far more revenue than 60,000 fans in an outdated lower bowl. And they reportedly offered $200 million to the Big 12 just for a chance to join the league, because being in the Power 4 would result in a huge increase in revenue share. More money from conference revenue sharing, concerts, and premium suites would give them the cash to land elite players and chase real national championships. If you want the insider perspective on the business of college sports, hit that follow button.
I love it. I love it. The business of sport. That motherfucker took exactly what I've been telling y'all, word for word, bar for bar. Y'all just don't think I'm smart because I ran into people. But it's all about the bread. If we were in Nebraska, we wouldn't have these problems. Nebraska been selling out their stadium since before black people could play with white people on the same football field. We don't do that. You weren't buying tickets anyway. And I remember when everybody bitched about the Champions Club. Nobody's gonna want to do that. We're losing seats when you lost a couple. It wasn't a lot. What you did was you gained luxury experience. You gained Wi-Fi so you can talk shit. The Champions Club is always packed, which will probably be the same thing for I haven't had a chance to sit in the new sideline thing because I'm either on the sideline or in the Champions Club. Don't really give a fuck about all the other shit. I have 8 tickets that I don't even use. I give them away. And all we got to do is just say the truth. You want to have monster truck route. If you look at if you really want to see what a true advantage is, obviously don't look at it now. But if you look at the Jag Stadium, which is who we modeled our I forgot what you call it. The club section of the Jag Stadium is what they modeled the Champions Club after. Excuse me. The Jags host a lot of things in the stadium outside of football that generate revenue. And like now there'll be more events that come to Tallahassee, which generates more revenue for the city in general, which is what you really, really want, especially for the boosters. What you want, if you're an FSU fan, what you want your boosters to do, you need College Town to be successful. The more successful College Town is, and the more business that's generated in College Town, that's owned. The overall land is owned by Seminole boosters. So you want that to continue to happen. It's a business besides all of this stuff. So a lot of you guys listen to troll or to try to ease your trolling or to try to, again, you use this in every aspect of life. You don't listen with the intent to understand the entity in which you're going up against or what you like. For what you like, you listen to be able to be fatalistic. And one of the things that I learned from Dr. Bertuno in Speech and Debate a long time ago, again, way more educated than what I put on, is that if you can't argue the other side of an argument, if you can't argue the other side, you don't know your side. You don't know your position well enough. So you have to always be able to defend your position if you're going to truly engage in intelligent debate. This is all about business. The winning part, I can excuse that away from drops and people not making moment being too big, not having the right guys. Not having the right guys will eventually get you fired because you pick those people. But at the end of the day, Florida State, Florida State is a 9-win team if I could get 5 plays. Give me 5 plays, I can show you 9 wins. But a lot of y'all don't want to really have that good faith discussion. You just want to, you don't care about the pregnancy. You don't care about the labor. You just want to see the baby. And I get that. You're mad. That's why the other places are more successful. It's because they feed into your bullshit and your non-masculine energy. But on that note, we got some other different things going around in the NCAA. Ryan Williams has decided to do something that I hate. I don't care about his New Jersey number. He went from 2 to 1, but now he's a man with 2 last names. Nothing is more shaky in this society than a man with 2 last names. Pick one. I get why women hyphenate their names, but even then, those don't tend to work either. But I do like one of his last names, though. I just think you should go with Ryan Coleman. Like, if you really went that far to add the name, go ahead and destroy the name that you put it in front of. Like, you know, now you're a distraction. You're already pissing on whoever the Williams are in your life. So that's, notable news, slow news day. Ryan Williams does that. Sherrone Moore, former Michigan football coach Sherrone Moore pleaded no contest to 2 misdemeanor charges Friday as a part of his plea deal. Per ESPN, Moore pleaded no contest to a charge of malicious use of telecommunication device in a domestic relationship and trespassing. In exchange for his plea deal, he had 3 charges dropped, including a charge of felony home invasion and 2 other misdemeanors. Meaning, they ain't had shit on him, and he wanted this to go away fast. And no contest means he didn't. I am not saying I'm guilty or innocent. I'm just going to take the charges as is. So now the prosecutor has a win. But they don't get what they want. And again, people ask me why I feel the way I feel about certain things. And it's not a hatred of anybody. It's a opportunity to shine light on what the truth is. Neither men nor women hold a monopoly on ain't shit. We only care more about one side because of the misogyny in our culture. Women don't want equality or equity. They want to flip it. And some of this shit just needs to be about equality and equity. Like, but I ain't got no, but I can tell you who don't really got the power like people think is black men. Only thing y'all think we powerful in is destroying, is like fucking shit up. And this motherfucker can't fight. He's big for no reason. I've seen Sharon Moore. But to quote the gay thespian from Brooklyn that went to Baltimore School of Arts to become a roadie for a happy rap group, Digital Underground, to become one of the pioneers of gangster rap. I think, because we all know the final form of gangster is gay. Like, was it like the Super Saiyan of gangster is gay? But he did say this. It's a lot of real G's doing time because a groupie bit the truth and told a lie. He was clearly set up. Now he's going to go get some bread from Michigan, because rightfully so. Now Michigan can go and try to say he was an inappropriate relationship with an employee. You're not supposed to do that, but this man was set up. He's gonna go get his bread from somewhere, and I think that lawyer it should have been done on National Women's Day. That lawyer should be sued. She should be disbarred because she knew she didn't have a case, and they set this man up. And I believe that the only way we're going to get true equity and equality in this, and this is the part that sucks because there are true victims, is we got to start putting pressure on people, man. No, it did. That's how they got the they did. But the problem is that now he has to take another step with the money. Like, it costs money to sue people.
Fight for us. We need more. We need someone. We need examples.
We do. And the problem is the rich men ain't doing it because a lot of lawyers tell you it's cheaper to settle, which is the truth. And the amount of stuff that you go through in order to clear your name will never equate to the amount of damage that was done when it got put out there. Like, it could cost you $500,000. Shannon Sharp, everybody, why would you? He wouldn't settle if he wasn't guilty. Again, stop trying to understand 7 and 8 figure problems on $50,000 a year salary. You don't understand. You don't have anything to lose. Nobody gives a fuck about you flipping working breakfast hibachi at Waffle House. Shannon Sharp has a lot to lose. Like, this case takes away from him making millions.
Right.
He has to settle because this becomes the headline. And they know that. And we know that. But then we say, why are men who make shit, who have means, angry? Why do you hate people? When the facts are there, this is why. If this is the world that you lived in, you would actually hate people too. Just like I can understand if a woman was abused, why she would hate men. Common sense, right? But if you see this shit all the time, you'd be like, all right, man, it's some big, I can say even with me, like, I wasn't opposed to him. He looked lame. But I'm not finna just say, like, oh yeah, he gotta be guilty because he messing with, like, even with us, like, not us, but like certain people, oh, that's what he get for messing with them white women.
Oh, they can't wait to say that, trust me. They
I'm like,
cannot wait.
The problem is not messing with white women, it's messing with mid. But mid, the one thing about America, mid gonna sell. America mid sells all the time. Like, why? Nobody cares about the truth if the lie is more entertaining. But, I do need, my guy needs to, I wonder my people at Smile Society Dental can do something. His gums really fuck with me, though. That's what I'd be more mad about, is that he got all that money and all them gums.
Yeah. I don't know if they have gum retraction.
It's got to be something that can be done, man. But, like, that's my biggest hate on him. But I will say this, when we all have certain things that we go through, right, that will reset us back to factory settings. Like, look at like, so go click on the next thing in the video. Sharon Moore's gone through all of this stuff, and he's keeping his head up and he's keeping the things up. And just watch the hand to hand. I know this made some person that in Nebraska who's never been around black people and thinks Sharon Moore is the same as a motherfucker from 45th and Moncrief. Like, watch, it's a video. Just push play on it. Two brothers being like, in his heart of heart, that officer's like, hey, I'm glad to see him. Right there. Yeah, that pat, bring it in. You tuck. He went back to, that's supposed to be a, thank you. He reverted back to factory settings.
Yeah. Is that his lawyer?
The white, probably.
I would not. You need a different look, my guy.
Nah, I'm gonna tell you why he had to go with a white lawyer. No, it would have been. No. So no, well, yeah, because she's light skinned. When you are going through this is crazy with my sister, right? She fought my dad is right when he's right. Terrible human. I've said this numerous times. Terrible person. But he asked her, he told her, he was like, she over here tried to eradicate the Mees. The Mees is where the money at. You know what it's like when you go to family court with a female attorney? They can say all of the shit that you want to say. A male attorney can, because of misogyny, again, the same misogynistic constructs that women fight are the things that give you a fucking advantage.
Yeah.
I go and say, this bitch is a hooker. She's lying. She's this. She's blah, 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 blah. As a big black man, the judge, the jury, everybody sees the attack, the verbal attack, and there's only one way to really do your job. But when you bring in that woman, look just like the woman that he sleep with.
Yeah.
So no matter what in your what we've been trained to think, oh, that's that porcelain princess, that milk of magnesia mommy. There's no way she would talk about her own like that unless there's a hint of truth. See, the man goes in there, that's just another man doing this and blah, blah, blah. See, women can write that. It's the same. It's the Byron Daniels thing or Donaldson, whatever the motherfucker who's running for governor's name. Except for that one dude, hey, bro, you got to look at the Republican primary, dog. This white man is unhinged in how he's going after Brown. It's like you want to say it's racism, but you can't because you're a blood. And he's just going after. He's like, oh, he calls him a DEI hire. He says they only want you because Trump. Show me. He has a picture. He has a picture of him showing guns. I hope Byron shows up and shows me if he a real black man. A white man is saying this to a black man, and he can't do nothing about it because he was the black man that people use to say he's the good black. So you can't go and say spout racism now. You said racism doesn't exist.
What a dummy.
Well, you could be like, yo, it's fucked up situations. But right here, when it all goes down, when it all boils down, he saw another light-skinned brother in there, and the brother was like, man, I'm glad to see you get off on this one, man. Stay up, player. And you see what the black man does to the other ones? Again, Key and Peele skin. It's not. It was just natural.
A nice little handshake.
Hey, thank you. Thank you very much.
I want to know who.
Thank you very much.
Other whites. Like, are they for Sharon?
They're for Sharon. That's his side. No. I mean, probably people are on the team.
Okay, I'm like.
Probably people on the team, but.
No black people.
But it's also, man, when you make a certain amount of money, dog, they ain't no unless he a coach, so he can't hang out with the athletes. I don't know, man. I'd be wondering, like, if I ever was about to do some real years, do I want my mama there? Like, yeah. I think so, though.
That's so funny.
I'm not going to jail for that, though, because I'm just going to accept my fate. But I'm going to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. I'm going to say all kinds of wild shit on stage. Accuse me of that if you want to. I'm gonna tell them all. I'm gonna tell them you in the scat. I don't even really know what that is. I want to tell them all kinds of stuff. Say, Your Honor, it got out of hand, and I feared for my life when she tried to peg me. And she pulled out a weapon of mass destruction, sir. I'm going to tell you're not going to be able to look your family in the eye when I tell them all of the things. If you accuse me of that. Because I'm just going to be like, yo, I didn't know women could do that, sir. I grew up in a wholesome family. And, I was raised Baptist. I was raised missionary Baptist. And I was in my youth choirs, Your Honor. I sang Rock of Ages. I was just going, by golly, I'm here by the grace of God. And then this devilish temptress just came in and she seduced me with all kinds of lewd acts that she would do to me. She whispered in my ear, sir, and I felt the tingle in my jingle. I'm gonna say all kinds of shit. This sound like Sharon wouldn't have, because Sharon he's a square. He's a certified sucker. And this is why I tell people, I'm fair. He's a certified sucker, but he was doing wrong. I don't think just because being a certified sucker ain't a crime. But neither is cheating. Like, you just gotta, hey, it didn't go the way she wanted it to go, and then she tried to change it up, just like a entitled pilgrim. Speaking of entitled pilgrims, a bunch of them came on Capitol Hill this past weekend to have a powwow about the state of college football and how to make college football better and what to do to make things right for the Division I athletes to try to bring things back into perspective. 70% of all college football players, and I still do not believe the statistic because that is entirely too high. We haven't seen a 30% white football team. It's very few of them. Maybe BYU. Nope, BYU got a lot of Polynesians. We're trying to figure out, even in Wyoming, that team is 70% black, 75% black. But we needed to have what we needed a bunch of geriatric people to come out here and tell us, because it's getting out of control. These kids are getting paid entirely too much money. We've taught kids for 18 years that capitalism is what makes America better than everybody else, and that you should be able to participate in it if you are good enough. And then, holy shit, a lot of these large mammals are getting paid money, and now we have to do something because college football is out of control. The money is the reason why college football is out of control. None of the barriers or none of the power constructs are what got talked about. What got talked about was how much money a percentage of the kids are making and how that's wrong. Oh no, my bad. Drop put none of this is David is one. Monogamy is a construct that has been forced. There should be no forced constructs of relationships. You should do whatever works for you. If monogamy works for you, I believe you should do it. If open relationships work for you, you should do it. Your relationship is none of my fucking business. Unless you're hitting somebody, unless you're abusing that person. But like, if he didn't cheat on his wife, though, he probably would be repressed, and that's something else. Like a lot of other people, it comes out in different ways, but he shouldn't have done it. Like, we don't have to argue on the morality. Yeah, the morality of the issue is it shouldn't be a law. It just shouldn't. Yeah, hey, man, because even that, like, half is not more than 100. She can get 100.
Yeah. Because then it's the contract thing, right? That's
basically, it's what it is. It's the contract. And one thing about contracts that we found out, all contracts can be broken. The most ironclad contract is a marriage contract, and that shit gets broken every day. But contracts that get broke, we had a bunch of guys up there in Urban Meyer and Nick Saban, along with our commander in chief, who has been bankrupt numerous times. Nick Saban, who we know for a fact broke at least two contracts to be able to get into the position in which he is. Urban Meyer broke them by lying, saying he had a heart problem, but the motherfucker getting stronger every day. They broke these contracts to state that it's wrong for kids to get paid. Nick Saban, who's made $150 million on paper, not 150, not the fact that the University of Alabama bought his house outright. He never paid for a car, never did any of these different things. And then what we know, the rumor in which we know to be true is that Nick Saban, they were good. Alabama was going to give you a Charger. We've heard about the bag man with Nick Saban. Heard about it with Charlie. I mean, not Charlie. We heard about it with Kirby. We've heard about all of these different things over the years of guys getting paid, people getting houses, people who couldn't afford, who on EBT, all of a sudden, Republicans, because the quote a comedian, I was a Democrat till I got rich. then I became a Republican. All these guys that we know, we all believe in the bag man, but now college football, now that it's out in the front and everybody can pay and we can have free market, open capitalism, we have an issue with it. And all we hear about, keep politics out of sports. Keep politics out of sports. I watch sports to get away from politics. I don't want to do this. But we cry to bring politics into sports. What is the reason why we need politics? I thought we wanted politics out of sports. I thought we wanted less government intervention in business. Seems like a lot of government. It seems like a bunch of people who can no longer benefit off of free labor that are now going and crying, I need my labor back free so I can make more money in a time when there's never been more money in the sport. And a guy coming in and not even understand, again, how can you like this guy? I'm not telling you who to vote for. I'm not telling you not to do that. I'm just telling you what I don't like about him. And I'm not getting into all the other shit. I don't like anybody who hinders my son's or any American's ability to make money. Especially when this motherfucker don't even know why we got here. Right. We're here because it went through, again, we can't say America is great because of the judicial system when the judicial system is the reason why we're here. It went through every aspect of it, appeals to Supreme Court where they voted 9 unanimously. The Supreme Court doesn't do that often, that the NCAA is full of shit and athletes need to be able to get paid off of name, image, and likeness. And because it didn't work out for you, you used your entitlement. Again, we always love to call liberals entitled. I'm talking to y'all. I'm talking to my blood brethren right now because that's what it is. It's a bunch of us bloods up here using entitlement to go up against kids who want to make money after we told them that they can make money anyway if they're good. If they're exceptional, you get to make money. And here's what the crazy thing is, but before we even get into that, 5% of all high school athletes go to college for sports. 5%. I say this all the time, and there's not a goddamn argument anybody can give you. Anybody listening to this and anybody in the comments, if you were in the top 5% of your job, would you expect to be paid properly? Not even 5% nationally, not even 5% of all applicants internationally or nationally. 5% in your, not even 5% in your industry. 5% of your current of the job that you're at right now, if you were in the top 5%, would you say you should just be happy having a job? No, I'll tell you, because if you're in the top 5% of just at your job, other people will be they're called recruiters in the real world too, will be coming looking for you to pay you, to give you a competitive salary. Ain't shit you can argue about that. Because if you were good, you would be doing that shit too, and you would be mad. I'm a guy who didn't get a chance to participate in it, but would have been mad if I was. But is rooting for my future brethren to do it because I got 2 youngins coming up. You might not be able to do it, but you might have a granddad that's doing it. And you know what? I respect the game. That should be it. What you eat don't make me shit. Another Jay-Z bar. The reality of the situation is none of that takes away from my money. Them kids getting paid. You can keep lying to yourself saying that college football isn't entertaining, but the numbers completely contradict what you say. It's never been more exciting. Never. That's why people with money are paying. If it wasn't good, nobody would pay. They keep expanding the product because y'all, which I think is going to dilute it, because y'all keep watching. If people watched you at your job like this, you would get paid like that. If people watch this show like this, I would get paid like that. It's the Pat McAfee argument at ESPN. People say they hate it, but ESPN loves it because they keep getting more. He gets more viewers every day. Only old curmudgeons hate it.
Let's not forget what stopped the six. The girl you really like. Still had to, when she talked about Trump, she got fired. Black lady.
Jamel,
right? They stopped the six and they fired her for kind of like the same type of thing at a less extent. Now they're getting all their money from Pat McAfee. Will gladly talk about the president as long as it's in a positive way.
It's like, again, you can't, the whole crux of the argument gets, well, like I'm saying, it's about, well, the coaches, like the easiest way to fix this is to, if we're about this, pay the coaches less.
That's too simple, too in your face.
Wait a minute, James.
Right.
This is a real response on Twitter. I can only imagine they did this. Well, wait a gosh darn minute, James. We shouldn't, like, why would we restrict the guys with college degrees who are out here leading these young men? What the fuck does a college degree got to do with me running 4.3? Like, what does that have to do with me being in the top 5%? None of them make what the college coaches make. None of them will make $10 million. But but the craziest part in this is the part that really baffles me. Who the fuck are you to tell me who I can and can't write a check to? If I want to, this is the problem with America. It goes back to $40. If I want to give $40 to a struggling young lady to make me happy, I should be able to give $40 to a struggling young lady to make me happy. Doesn't mean she should be trafficked. If she's there against her will, it should be problems with that. But who I give my money to is none of your fucking business. If I want to, if I win the $1 billion lottery, right? And there's a young man like the guy from El Presidente Barstool. When he comes out and says, I'm willing to give $3 million to a quarterback to go to Michigan. Who am I to tell him he can't write a $3 million check as long as it's within the constructs and the rules?
Dave Portnoy.
Yeah, Dave Portnoy. I may think Dave Portnoy is a piece of shit. But that's his goddamn right as an American. He's not.
No, he's one of those outside town guys that always, I hate. Not about it.
You're going to tell me I can't pay somebody what I want to pay. But anyways, let's listen to what Nick Saban, who benefited from the rules when everything was under the table and was one of the greatest coaches to do it. And now he's mad because one of his proteges is probably going to surpass him because he's figured out how to adapt or fucking die. But let's listen to what the dinosaur says about young men getting paid.
I'm just a football coach. I spent my life when we had the ball trying to get a first down, when they had the ball trying to get off the field on third down. So this is an unlikely position for me to be in to speak to such a distinguished group of people. Thank you. But I come here today with a question. What are the guiding principles for the future of college athletics? All athletics. I'm talking about football, basketball, Olympic sports, revenue, non-revenue, it doesn't matter. You know, my goal as a coach for my players, for our players, was to help them be more successful in life, that we would create an atmosphere and environment that would help them through personal development, academic support, 668 degrees and 17 years at Alabama, and help them develop a career as a football player. That was our goal, so that they were creating value in life and we were preparing them for their future past athletics. So what happened? You know, in this current system that we have, that became impossible to do because people, instead of making decisions about creating value for their future, they were making decisions about how much money could they make at whichever school they could go to or transfer to. So I think we have a challenge here today about the ramifications of this current system on how it helps players be successful in their future and how we can impact and create a system that will help and preserve the opportunity for student athletes to be able to have success in their future beyond athletics. So we need to develop an effective system of revenue sharing, authentic name, image, and likeness, authentic being you have marketing value, which now we have collectives, which just create opportunities, which just become pay for play. Eligibility issues where we have guys playing 6, 7, and 8 years. So you have 25 and 26-year-old people playing against 18 and 19-year-olds, which is not healthy. Transfer rules, we have over 4,000 people in the portal. Fans don't like it, support groups don't like it. It's not really healthy for players in graduation to transfer several times in your career. You really put yourself in a pickle in terms of your ability to graduate. So I think we need to come up with a system, and we obviously have to do it with the president's leadership and also with Congress probably, whether it's antitrust legislation or whatever it is, to allow student athletes in all sports, including women's and Olympic sports, to enhance their quality of life while going to college, but still provide opportunity to advance themselves beyond their athletic career, which is what the philosophy of college athletics and getting a college education has always been about. And how much does anybody talk about getting an education?
All right, pause right there.
Nobody talks about it at all.
Pause right
Which is the most important thing any of these student athletes can do in terms of enhancing their future.
No problem. I played for quite possibly, in my opinion, the greatest coach ever coached. Salt of the earth guy. He never said this, but his employee said this. Did we bring you here to play college or to play football? Has been the thing that they have told college athletes, student athletes, since the beginning of time. It is disingenuous for you to be able to speak in that. The goal of going to Alabama is not to get an education. If you know who would be kicking ass in that argument if that was the case? Harvard, Yale. They don't give scholarships. Service academy. Because going to West Point, going to Annapolis, going to Air Force, those educations alone are just as good as going to the Ivies. And they can pay you your ROTC money while you're there. I didn't go to Florida State to be a fucking Rhodes Scholar. I went to go try to play and go to the NFL. It's literally the argument that every state employee has against every football coach, because the highest state employee in damn near every state is a football coach. But nobody's having these meetings there to say that this is wrong. I cannot believe that the craziest part is that do you know how many current student athletes were at that meeting?
I can guess.
Zero.
Even as he was naming with naming names, he did not name athletes. Acknowledged part of this.
Then that's the craziest part in all of this. You're making decisions. This is basically what women deal with when men make decisions for their bodies. I believe there should be some other not consequences, some other things that should be in that. But I'm with them. Like my body, my choice. That's your choice. You should have it should reflect the nature of who it affects.
Taxation without representation.
This is exactly what this is. Again, we teach 18 years of American exceptionalism through capitalism. And one of the biggest things we always talk about is the reason why we broke off from Britain is because of taxation without representation. God forbid you actually really go and look at what the facts were.
We got to have our own.
It would be exactly what happened with that. Most Americans, well, most people who were over here didn't give a fuck because they couldn't afford tea. They weren't getting taxed. And then what happens is they did all of that to pay higher taxes. And most of America, you can only vote if you own property. Yeah. So most of the people over here fought and died in a war for no representation, to still be taxed without representation.
American.
Yeah, it's again, you want highly skilled, and that's the other part too, is this. In order to get in, they do make exceptions for you, right? But they ain't taking no more 2.0 guys anymore. Most of these guys that they're getting are 3.3 or higher GPAs. So not only do you have to be good in school, you have to be superior in your sport. You're better at every aspect than most of the average students that are there. And yeah, they still want to act like they're gifting you something. Because people think it's a game. And it's not. Solitaire is a game. Chutes and ladders is a game. But even then, at a certain level, if you're operating on a high end, you're probably get paid for that. Right. It's with all due respect, if 85,000 people showed up to see somebody do a math problem, you probably have a different perspective on math. It's crazy the restrictions that we want and when we want them. But it goes back to what this guy told me when we were talking about investing or paying for or helping with my foundation. We'd rather pay Crime Stoppers than give generational wealth to people when it doesn't even matter. It doesn't even fucking affect us.
I hate to be anyway conspiratorial because then they dampen
the picking part of it, like Ryan Clark. What they're doing with Ryan Clark and some of these. No, not Ryan Clark. Super fade, always like basketball, but Jalen Rose. They're doing it. Jalen Rose says only the black sports are the ones with caps.
Right.
Like nobody believes you got. Yeah, nobody believes you got to put a cap on baseball. You can make as much money in golf as you want to. Make as much money in tennis as you want to. You can play early. You could be a pro in tennis at 14 years old. You could be a professional gymnast. And most of our top gymnasts are between 12 and 16, if I remember correctly. But it's these sports where you can get paid, you can become a millionaire overnight. That's when we need guardrails and we got to protect these guys. And it is not protect them by putting good, God honest people around them. We have to protect them by not paying them as much money.
Can't have them having health. Imagine they have kids and now their athletic kids can play any sport they want. Now they're into tennis and golf and all that. No. Got to stop this right now.
Because athletes breed with athletes.
Right. This is just like any fire that was set on the black community, stop our progression, a halt. And if you believe in that, you can go ahead and copy some MFTK hats because it clearly what we don't care about in America. You need presidential color MF.
We definitely do. I definitely do. Yeah, just the percentages of I'm just, and then, but if you look at it, this guy didn't even really think about. He's not talking about NIL though, but not looking at the fact that, and I think it's his overall concept or what he wants to speak about is it's a privilege, like to take it seriously about trying to do this. Being like getting a scholarship is, it's not a privilege. You've earned it.
Right.
Like I don't understand why people say like it's a privilege, but this speaks to why you should get paid.
Right.
Because it's very difficult, like to get this. Not a lot of people get to do this shit. Like
it's not a gift.
Yeah, it's like, you know, I don't understand why people are so against exceptionalism.
God's credit, like he didn't give the athletic body.
Right. Technically they did. And I'm gonna tell you why. We don't have, I've said this before on the show. People can look at it, tongue in cheek, do whatever. Years and years, what happened was a couple centuries ago, over 400 to be exact, they allegedly brought people over in boats. And they made all kinds of different stops. Some of us were here already, but they brought people over here in boats. To be able to survive that, you had to be mentally strong and you had to be physically strong. And then they got them over here, and then you separated people and you breeded with you. You breeded some of them, and then the ones that were really, the ladies that were really, really good, you had fun with them. So you were able to get the unique genetic traits of white, black, and all these other different cultures. You put them in the field, you work them. And then what happens is while you're developing this, you created all the muscles that are associated with sprinting, jumping, and being powerful. And you kept it might not have been you per se, but it was people who knew us. Because again, my last name is Coleman. I don't know if you've ever been to Africa. It ain't a lot of Colemans over there. Most of the Colemans like are over here, and so that means somebody with the last name Coleman owned one of my ancestors, and they bred big Negroes. And then what ends up happening is they get rid of these constructs, and it doesn't change stuff. But then people like boxing. People like physical sports. They like physical bouts. And so they start creating these leagues. And they realize we don't like Pepperidge Farm commercials like that. That's not as exciting to watch. So what they did was they started peppering it with a couple people who look like Pepper. And then over time, they started realizing is the more pepper I have, the better I have a chance of winning. And we'll fast forward to about, I believe it was 1970 something, where we talked about where one of the greatest moments in civil rights history happened, when USC went into Alabama and beat civil rights icon Paul Bear Bryant. And Paul Bear Bryant went and said, I need some more pepper. And then when Paul Bear Bryant got pepper and started winning, everybody, he infiltrated and integrated the SEC, which consistently started making all these other different things happen. And then the SEC started making money, and more money came, and then the NFL started picking people from. The NFL had already figured out that, hey, the pepper sells, seasoning sells. They were going to HBCUs and getting cats. So they changed. Okay, now HB guys are getting better opportunities earlier in college by going to where the ice is colder at the PWIs and going there, and then they started doing all these different things. And then what ends up happening is the NFL starts getting more pepper. It starts looking more like a chocolate ice cream swirl, into where it looks more like chocolate ice cream than it does a swirl. And then they're getting paid more money. And when they're getting paid more money, the minor league system, which is college football, starts getting paid more money. Then it goes through the process because sports is indicative of life. It's a microcosm of society, the influence. So when people say, I don't like politics in sports, you show me a time when politics was never in sports, and I'll show you a time before media existed. And you just keep seeing all of these different things happen. And then we get to here, and it's the result. It's essentially what happens when if you know how to stop all of this and really slow all of this down, just get reparations. Because once you pay motherfuckers, they ain't gonna want to do no extra work. And it will all one thing I know consistent, they're gonna pay all the money back to the system. And and they're gonna pay all the money back to the system, and then all the guys are going to want to come. They're gonna want to not do as much work anymore, and that's where. And then you'll get it back to where it needs to be at, and then you'll see Opie and everybody else doing their shit, and they'll get paid more money. But they don't have the patience for that. It's out of control right now, and they just want to change it. So it's sad, man. But I want you to click on that last link under that. Oh, my bad. Where it says the my bad, not the last link. These are the folks that have a problem with athletes being paid. This is what I believe the comment section actually looks like when it comes to all of those different things, like and why they feel mad because God spited them. So you can show this, and these are the people who are saying it's just a game. Oh yeah, don't have the music with it. And that they should not be getting paid to be able to do a sport.
Hey, he's closer. He's old. He's getting there. All right now.
These are the folks who are having okay. Oh no, you know how hard it is to teach people how to skip.
I'm doing it right now. I'm helping a friend who's training them. The first place we started with skips. Opposite arm,
right.
opposite. Okay. Corner, lady, I'll give it. Opposite arm, opposite leg. So crazy. I could.
But I'm saying these are the folks that if you ask them, hey, should college athletes be paid? Skip over to me and tell me. That's a bound. It's not a bad bound.
Yeah. That's cool.
As a former trainer, this hurts my eyes. So, but anyways, man, I don't want to get a bunch of other stuff again. Let's skip over to let's go big games BS and bust because I'm hungry anyway. See what Jaden has for us in terms of this. Oh man, this is now I can tell you the people who want athletes to get paid are at the lower end of this. The people who don't, there are more people at number one who don't want college athletes to get paid than at 10.
I like red. I like mine rare.
No, I'm saying, but I'm just if most people who like if I tell the kid right now, we can't go below. If I'm buying this steak, we cannot go below 4.
Oh, okay, all right. You're teaching them.
Yeah, but a lot of these people don't understand. So I'll buy you a burger if you want. Like that's what I'm going to get you chicken tenders. Like we're gonna eat like a grown ass man. That's where the flavor is.
Right. 4 is really good. 1 is extreme, but I can. 4 is probably.
Yeah, 1 just that's all right. No, I ain't done that. Give me 3. If I'm taking it to go, give me 2 because I'm probably gonna have to recook it.
Yeah.
So,
It's already good.
Yeah, what I won't do is 10.
Oh no,
that is a crime. That's a hate crime.
The question is, what? That's
No, what is I guess which flavor? Like a lot of more has to deal with it, but like where do you get your steak? How do you cook your steak?
Oh, he spelled it wrong. He said steak. I was like,
oh yeah, it should be steak. Yeah, but but yeah, give me medium rare is about right where I want to be at. Especially when you get a good cut of steak, like it just really just melts in your mouth. But yeah, so It's already dead. They've already done all. It's cooked to a high enough temperature to be able to kill all the germs. That's not blood you're eating. That's juice, my man's. So, good stuff with that. Going down to something I just don't understand. And Miles, the next one, you would be able to help me with this a little bit more. I don't want to. Nah, it should be plus size woman. I don't want a skinny woman, but I don't know what plus size is. I thought plus size was like was thick. I mean, this woman's not a pencil, but like she got curves, like the country songs. You say, are you looking at mine? Or are you looking at the one? Yeah, but like just okay. That's what I said when I'm like, hey,
what country is she?
I don't
Not America.
She is Sports Illustrated's plus size model.
We are the fattest country in the world. How could we think this is plus size?
I mean, plus, like a plus.
Yeah.
Is that what I mean? Like thumbs up?
Bless.
Let's see what she turns. Is it? Yo.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yo.
America.
There are athletes right now chomping at the bit.
See what we did for y'all as Black people? Y'all would have thought this was fat, and we helped you.
They made songs about anti-ass.
Yeah, I know. The ridiculous jeans they would wear, those flat boots. Big jeans.
Hey, this woman, I almost want to believe that she had a WBBL. Like she ain't got a lot, so it's not out of control. But I know she didn't come with that. That's not factory settings on her ass.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's got to be like a publicity. She probably calls herself a plus size.
Somebody was saying like as models they're supposed to be real thin, but like to this right here, this is what I want to see. You're more apt to have me pick up a magazine with her on it than you would with someone who looks like a daddy long leg or praying mantis.
You Google famous plus size models, you're not getting her.
Yeah, I was thinking like, cause the one black chick that was on America's Model a couple years ago was taller and thicker than this. Like, pick the black chick right there with the auntie elbows. Now go scoot over to two more to the left. Yeah, right there. You just pat that one. Yeah, okay. That's not her, is it? I don't think that's her.
Yeah, she.
But I'm saying, but you tell me she's a plus. Okay, all right. You just got pluses.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I just don't like. I don't. But like, that's not what I would be. I don't know. But last but not least, getting to a woman who makes absolutely no sense, and I'm gonna be honest with you, she kind of marrying Dwight Howard is a wild choice in of itself, right? We all know he's a fruitopia, right? Like, again, one of them Stephen Diggs situations where this man was genuinely sued for getting too wild in a homosexual relationship. Like, that man was cool with him and Dwight, so that I already know. We already got the smoking gun, but then he made it even crazier by bringing a transmission into the fray. And he was like, "Hey, I ain't agree to that. This is egregious." So let's listen. Let's read or whatever. Dwight Howard's, I guess it's his ex-wife has to say. But like, she got the snot bubbles, man. Like, this is real. Dwight Howard's wife, Amy, claims that he coached their son to lie on her and alleges that he has drugs and needs help, and that CPS took their daughter away. All right. Let's watch the video.
It was coaching our son to lie on me, and I had to record it. And it's this shit. I try to tell everybody he needs some help, and ain't nobody would have fucking listened because he got the money. I kept saying, whatever, y'all don't understand. I live with him. He needs some help. And this is it.
Oh, that was a snort.
This is what I'm fucking losing my fucking marriage to. This shit right here. I told everybody, y'all gotta help him. He is spiraling. I'm in here with him. I'm trying to love him through it. He was coaching our son to lie on me, and I had to record it. And it's this shit. I try to tell everybody he needs some help.
Did it go back to the beginning?
And ain't nobody would have fucking listened because he got the.
All right, hold on. First off, baby, if he calls CPS on you, possession is 9/10 of the law. Baby, you got that ain't quite half, but that's a lot. If that's what I think it is, that's a lot that's on you, baby. You might want to go put that back where you found it. Like you might not want to be riding around with that. I'm not a lawyer and I'm not giving any legal advice, but just a suggestion. CPS sees this, all of the things that you're claiming he's doing, you're doing right now.
You look funny.
And you look like you're spiraling. You're the one who just sprinkled coke on your hand and keeps snorting and then wiped your nose. Like, I'm not saying you're doing anything. I'm not saying that he's not doing anything. All I'm saying is right now, you're not helping. And wait, it says his wife. So you're the one who knowingly married the switch hitter, the one who pitches and catches, has had numerous stuff. But I will say this is also what happens when you remember when the wildest 180 is Dwight Howard. I want to make sure, before I say these things, let me make sure I'm factually correct. Because if I remember correctly, Dwight Howard was he's a devout Christian. Dwight Howard was raised in a strict, devout Christian home in Atlanta, Georgia. He attended Southwest Atlanta Christian Academy. As a teenager and a young NBA player, he was highly outspoken about his faith, speaking to use his basketball career as a platform to spread the gospel and glorify God. His mother, he was a baby, mother had 7 miscarriages before his birth. Which is, he stated early in his career that his purpose was to represent God on and off the court. When I hear that kind of stuff, man, those be the ones that I'd be like, yo, I can't deal with that. Them some wild boys right there. So interesting. But one of the things that I wouldn't do is take everything to social media. And unfortunately, this isn't the best look for any of them. And I hope that they all get, the help that they need. Because one thing I do know is that the children will see this, and it's not the best look overall for anyone. So and probably don't have drugs and drug paraphernalia on you when you're trying to expose others. Like, you could have said that he was on cocaine without the big ass bag. That was half empty, and man, that's a lot. That was a lot of coke. You've been definitely sniffing on that for a little bit, but yeah, man. Outside of that, I hope everybody's weekend was pretty good. Make sure that you guys Stay in touch. Keep in contact with us with the things that are coming out. We will see you guys on Wednesday. Appreciate everybody for chopping up with me. We will see you guys next time.